You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network. Now the largest new media platform on the web and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's The Bachelorette After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's The Bachelorette After
I
Show.
got this feeling on the summer day when you were gone. I crashed my car into the
Krisily,
I watched, I let it
you
go.
have something interesting to say about tonight's episode, and what is that?
I want to know how many guys you have to put in a hot tub before it gets awkward.
We're going to find that and a whole lot more, because we all know that Bing is for doing, and we are here doing another after show on AFTERBUZZ TV. I am JC, and this is The Bachelorette, Season 9, Episode 3, and gosh, we have a lot of stuff, from broken fingers to broken hearts, exes coming back, you name it, it went down.
It took you a long time to come up with that, huh?
I came up with it on the fly. Hello.
Right.
I did.
Right.
That's all right. I couldn't even say my sentence because I wanted to sing the song so bad that the words weren't coming out.
All right, I've introduced myself, but of course, no show would be complete with our wonderful host, starting with the lovely lady to my left.
I'm Cathy Kelley.
And next to Cathy Kelley.
What's up, guys? Krisily here.
And of course, no show would be complete without the lady running the ones and twos, Marissa. What's up?
Hello, everyone.
Okay, Marissa, you've got.
She loves it too.
I'm telling you, this episode had everything. And
Crybabies,
yes, broken.
pink skirts.
Come on, Brooks. Hey, Brooks, that was a bad break. He passed out because of the
Oh,
pain.
I wasn't calling him a crybaby at all.
Yeah. No.
Brooks can do no wrong.
Okay, what about the
None.
little Fu Manchu? He had the little bump it on his
Like
head.
I said, he can do no wrong. He looked adorable in his ponytail.
Yeah.
Leave him alone. You're
All
just
right.
jealous.
I'm a little bit. Okay.
See?
All right, fine. So let's get into it. Well, overall, you know what? Before we go into it, overall thoughts on the episode, Cathy. What'd you think of tonight?
The episode lacked a little bit of, I don't know the right word, personality.
Much
Really?
like Brad.
That was perfect for Krisily. She was saying that all episode.
I have nicknames for a couple of the boys now.
I don't know. I feel like in past seasons, we've always had at least one really witty person. Like we always said, like, I don't know, people thought that either Sean was going to be boring or Emily was going to be boring, or I don't know. Ashley Hebert, I don't know how to pronounce it. She was hilarious. All these past people have been so funny, and I think that Des is very fun. I just haven't seen like the really funny, witty side yet. So I don't know.
I don't know that Des is going to ever be witty.
Yeah.
I think that this is just Des, but
Yeah.
overall, the episode, all I could think is wow, wow,
Yeah.
wow.
There were a lot
There
of
was-
tears.
No, just the whining from men is just so not cute.
Yeah, I mean, does that make them overall less attractive to
She
you?
has a lot of girly men
It's like
on
girl
the season.
backbone. Backbone. We need some.
Okay, and guys, of course, chat roll, hello. If you're not watching us live, make sure to tune in on iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher. I actually got a great little tweet from D Coffee Snob, who is staying up East Coast time. She is pumping down coffee just to hear us break it down tonight.
Well, hello.
Hello. So, all right, let's get into Love is a Battlefield, the group date.
Did you really just say that?
I did.
Wow.
What? I'm tying it all in.
You know, for a dodgeball day, I'm really upset that we didn't see the Stagliano brothers because they are dodgeball players and they play on a team all the time. So I'm a little upset that they weren't there.
Why didn't they have them like coach?
They should have.
That would have been great. But
Yeah.
but then they got pummeled by the pro dodgeball team.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which was about as exciting as watching grass grow.
You were saying it was missing something. You're saying.
It was totally missing. Like, okay, the movie Dodgeball, for example, hysterical,
Yeah.
amazing. This game of Dodgeball was not fun to watch.
Well, Dodgeball is based on a true story. That's why. There's a lot more depth and layers to it.
And this is a reality show. There are depth and layers to it.
And it's based on a true story.
It is. Of Desiree finding love.
As you can tell, this episode, our after show is going to be as odd as the show was itself tonight. So, but okay, there was a battle between the red and the blues, and of course, poor Brooks broke his finger.
Yeah, it got kind of intense. When we saw the previews for last week, I thought that he like had a heart attack or something way more like
Did he
intense.
lose his sparkle?
And but it was his finger.
They didn't even show us the finger. I wanted to see it like just
I
dangling.
thought, I mean, the way that they were saying like, oh, it has to be reset. I thought that there was like bone showing, and I don't know.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Well, the oxygen for a bone break was a little much, but then he cleared it up that he passed out because the pain was so bad. So that's why they had to give him oxygen.
Brooks, I got your back. It was.
I've never broken anything, so I can't even make fun of him.
No,
I can't.
It's pain.
Yeah, I bet.
And it might have been. I'm gonna say it was a compound fracture, so that's why he passed out. Because he's a man. He's got awesome hair. We've established
hair.
that.
I love that he was trying to stay strong in front of Des. He was like, I'm not gonna cry.
It was cute.
But we'll get to it in 1 second because I want to bring up something about what team won again. The blue team.
Winners.
Okay, but yet she invited the red team for the second half of the date. And I thought that was interesting because Sean did that last season on his like redneck games.
I think it's when they like if they're not interested in anyone on the team that wins, they're allowed to invite the other team.
That's what I was getting at. I'm just saying, it's just a thought I had.
But she did clear it up and mention that she wanted to bring both teams because it's
so
still in the
early.
beginning and she wants to spend as much time with all the guys as she can.
I don't know. I'm just saying, what do you guys think at home? Do you think there could be something there? We'll call us conspiracy theorists or what?
I'm sure that this was cut out of the episode and that a lot of the guys on the winning team were not too happy because they just busted their balls, literally, trying to win this game, and then they really didn't even have to.
And they whine about everything, so you know they whined about this.
Yes, and come on, Marissa, you gotta admit,
look how cute he is.
you're checking out. There's guys
I don't
with
like
short
guys with
shorts.
ponytails.
I mean, what else do you
I'm
want?
not sure about the short shorts, but
He
guys
looks so cute.
being
He
is
athletic,
cute.
definitely.
How is that? He looks like Fu Manchu.
No, he looks so cute.
I don't
with
like
his
guys with
ponytail.
ponytails or half ponytails or anything, but I mean,
See?
he pulls it off if anyone's gonna do it. But
Okay.
Drew looks good.
We are here for the Bachelorette. Let's stop. Oh, you like Drew? Is he your new
Ken.
Ari? We'll save that for later. Okay.
He's a Ken doll.
Let's move on to the nighttime where the guys made their pitch as usual on why they're great for Des, and Krisily's rolling her eyes. But I want to talk about Chris. Chris, who put the move on.
Harrison?
No, not Chris Harrison.
He put the move on someone?
No, but he did
So soon.
He showed off his clothing line again. I'm
Yes,
telling you, he's
of
got some
course.
great
He's
stuff.
only gonna wear his clothing line.
No, but Chris took Des upstairs to the little helicopter area, and he's kind of unassuming. He's kind of like really low profile. He's very quiet, but yet he sees the moment. Do you here? There's a shot of Chris right now, but I mean, what do you make out of Chris? Does he have a possible future?
He's cute. He's more normal out of a lot of them. You don't hear him complaining a lot, so I like him.
Normal?
Yeah.
Is that
He's not
Are
like
any
one
of
of the
these guys
meatballs, or you know what I mean. Like I feel like out of the group, he's like the guy that you would meet at the mall. You know what I mean? Like he's not. I don't know how to describe it, but he's not like Jersey Shore or I wear self tanner and you know what I mean? Like a lot of these guys are just like a little too buff, a little too tan, and a little too like spot on
feed.
for me. Yeah.
Did you say deep V?
Deep feed.
Okay. All right.
V-necks.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, because they were all sporting them. But yeah. So Cathy, do you agree? Does Chris have could he balance out? Because we know Des is a free spirit.
No chemistry.
No. Even though they didn't they make out?
Who hasn't she made out with yet? That
Yes.
would be a shorter list.
Well, actually, yeah, because I've got the kiss board here of how many guys she made out with.
Yeah.
All of them.
And have you noticed all except for I think Brandon, she's leaned in for first. It's not like the guys like trying to get these kisses. It seems like Des is kind of going after it.
Well, is that good or bad? I mean, is it a woman taking the lead? Because usually the guys get a lot of heat when they're making out with all the girls on The Bachelor.
Yeah.
So
You gotta
is it
know where the
different?
chemistry is.
I guess it's a personal preference.
Okay.
Yeah. But at the same time, I feel like if I were in a room with 25 guys, I would pick one. Like, I don't know.
Well,
But you have to pick one, so you have to, like, what if the one you pick, you kiss, and it's terrible, you have no chemistry, and you're not physically attracted to them past that initial...
Okay. So then I send him home and I go on to the next one. It's not like...
That would be a boring season of Bachelorette.
It's not like I
Cathy
keep them
Kelley.
all around. I don't know.
But you guys are terrible. I'm serious. This is going to be a very long episode.
No.
All right.
The best part of this date was when Brooks came back high as a kite, professing how wonderful she looks. That was the best part of this date.
She did look good.
But do you think he remembers? Because he was on so many meds. He was so loopy and gone.
But they're so natural together. Like, it's just so, like, there's nothing prescribed about what they're doing, you know. There's no awkwardness. Like, they're so natural and so comfortable, and it just flows so easy. He's like, so what else? And she was like, not much, you know. It was just normal dating conversations.
And this is where I get mad about who she's kissing, is because she, Des, just like Emily, has the eyes. Like, when you see that there's chemistry with someone, she, like, has a little telltale sign. Like, she's looking at them with googly eyes. She has them with him, and then
Brooks?
with Brooks. She also has it with Juan Pablo. She has it with like 3 guys that I've noticed so far, and she's made out with at least like 7.
Let's see. I'll look at my book. I kept track. I counted.
Please.
We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 guys.
Bryden, Ben, Brandon, Brooks,
Juan Pablo.
James.
I think that's it. So far.
And then there are others that we probably haven't seen yet. Did she kiss Casey too?
Not so. I know. Yes, she has.
Yes.
Okay.
She's got one makeout with Casey.
Zach?
I
With
broke
the
it.
towel on
She
her
kissed
head.
Zach too, right? Last week? I don't know.
Not on my
Maybe
board,
not.
and I got this straight from ABC. It's their ABC Kiss board.
Oh,
Oh.
well, so official.
No. Well, they've got it broken down as pecs, makeouts, and hot tub kisses. Bryden. We forgot Bryden as well. Bryden was the hot tub kiss. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, she's been keeping busy. Ain't nothing. Hey, we ain't mad at you, girl.
Not mad. Not mad.
So let's move on to Casey's date. But first, we cannot move on to Casey's date before talking about Brian. We've been waiting all season for who has the
The
girlfriend.
most dramatic episode in Bachelorette history.
Yes.
Someone has a girlfriend.
And they made it seem like it was going to be Ben,
But
it's not Ben.
it was Brian J. And Brian, now there's an interesting backstory. Okay, what
Isn't he the one that we called American Psycho?
No, that was Jonathan, who was booted first week. He
Got
was Fantasy Suite guy. No, Brian J is the guy who looks like Jake. I believe it's Johansson. I'm butchering his last name. He's on New Girl. He looks like Emily.
Oh, I know who he is.
Deschanel's
I just
boyfriend.
didn't know if that was the one we called.
Yes.
Yes. So,
Brian J. I guess he had a girlfriend. Do you have any dirt on this?
yes, she is a former playmate, Stephanie Larrymore.
Yes.
Wait, she's
Stephanie
the one that
Larimore.
dated Craig R?
Yes.
Yes.
The lawyer?
I was
She,
telling you
she
that.
dated
okay.
Craig Robinson.
Inside scoop, don't trust anything that comes out of that girl's mouth. Inside scoop. I don't believe a word that she says.
And that's one of the things that I wanted to say. A source actually told Wet Paint that Craig took her to a bachelor reunion in New York, and she wasn't allowed into the actual party, but she went out with a bunch of them the night before or after to a bar. She got absolutely wasted, and they were fighting, and she ended up just stranding him, leaving him there to go back to the hotel.
Not before she called the cops and tried to say that he was hitting her when
Yes.
she was the one that was hitting him.
This is Craig R.
So Stephanie is a little dramatic. She, and nothing against this, she has a teenage son, and I mean,
Clearly
I've heard
likes her
from
boys on The
multiple
Bachelor.
sources that she is just very dramatic, plays things up, and if you notice during the episode, she wasn't letting him have a single word in. Did they have a past? Yes. Was it that he left 2 weeks before and broke up with her that day and said, I just need some space, I'll be back in 2 weeks and we'll figure things out? Probably not.
She, it's funny. I wish I would have known that while watching the episode because I would have had so much more to say. She it's funny because he said that it was a very toxic, abusive relationship, and clearly from what we know on the wet paint story, and normally I don't trust wet paint, but because I know this actually happened, she is a very toxic, abusive person. So for me, the second that he said, you threw rocks at my face, and she said, that's right, I threw rocks at your face, how then do you believe anything that comes out of a girl's mouth that says that? Like, at that point, now she's dated 2 guys that were on The Bachelorette. Like, I feel like she is a former Playboy playmate that is just looking for 10 more minutes of fame. And I hate to say that because I hate when people say that about me, but the way that she's acting, she said that he made a fool out of her on national television. She made a fool out of herself by going on.
And she made a fool out of him, like saying some of those accusations that she said that he is dating 9 girls at once and brings strippers home from strip clubs and all those things. That's intense. Like, those are some harsh accusations.
Absolutely.
Whether they're true or not, to call someone out on national television is kind of...
But see,
She has no class, though. I mean, it's very clear that she has no class, and I'm shocked that they let her come on and do that, because that's a trashy thing to do, first of all. And when he said that, he stopped several times during this and looked at producers and was like, this is my life, guys. Like, this isn't funny. And at that moment, I stopped believing her.
So we're definitely on Team Brian, you're saying?
Team Brian.
I don't think that he's innocent.
At the same time, I agree with Dez's choice to send him home, because I wouldn't want to date someone who's dated someone like that.
No, because she's not going to go away.
No.
Right. You know, and it was interesting. We brought it up while watching it, that it was almost like expositioning. She was saying, my son, Brandon, the teen. I was like, why don't you just put out his Twitter handle while you're at it? Because he's a teenager, and she keeps putting this out. And you got to think about what must her son think? I mean, because with his friends knowing that she's a Playboy playmate, and now she's on national TV causing this uproar, it must be difficult.
I don't think there's anything wrong with the Playboy playmate thing. Like, all respect to girls that do Playboy, but the fact that she did what she did on this television show and has a history of cops being called and abuse, like, that's what I wouldn't be proud of.
No, I'm not saying anything's wrong with that, but I'm just saying with her son, and just around that age, you know, his friends have, you know, hey, your mom's in Playboy, da da da, and all this adding more fuel to the fire for her son. That's
further in
just out
that
of
story
concern.
on wet paint. I think the source also said that it was rude to her son, because now he's just going to get ridiculed at school and all these things.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Yeah, no harm, no foul, but I mean, still, I mean, you got to think about the son. So, with that
She's
said,
not thinking about anybody but herself. Sorry. Yeah. Classless.
no, but okay, so this heated, heated head-to-head between Brian, Desiree, Chris. How does this bode well for poor Casey, who has to, now we're going to go on a date? You know, after all this drama, I mean, poor guy, he is just like in a hole from the beginning.
It's happened in seasons past.
But do they go
Not
straight
to
into-
this extent, I don't
I
think.
mean, Ashley had to go on a date right after Bentley dumped her. Like, they're a thing, you know, like, it just happens.
But just, okay, but isn't this
But this was,
foreshadowing
I
this
think,
date?
super dramatic. Like, I don't think it was. I get the Bentley dumping thing, but this was like a girlfriend that came and caused drama and uproar in the house. Like, I feel like this one's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Ow.
Yeah, but now, overall, we talked about this date because now they go with this band called Bandaloop. And I guess this is where people dance on a giant building.
Which was so cool, by the way, and
Really
at the top
close
of my
to
street.
really close to our apartment. I
was like, how did we not-
our separate apartment?
Yeah, we don't live together, but we live near each
Neighbors.
other. But how did we not know this was happening, and why were we not at the top
I don't know.
of our street?
I actually, the part of the date and the rest of the show that was at the mall, I remember seeing a tweet about it saying, if you're a fan of The Bachelor or Bachelorette, please come and see these guys. So, I don't know. I'm sure there was a bunch of stuff going on.
This date has to be, I don't want to, I mean, it's not like they didn't hate each other, but I mean, it was probably one of the worst dates I've seen on the
I agree.
show.
It was awkward.
Just,
And
not even their connection.
I
It's just-
couldn't decide the whole time if it was awkward because they didn't have chemistry or if it was awkward because her head just wasn't in it because she was still thinking about what happened earlier.
She mentioned that.
Yeah.
She said that she wasn't feeling it. She was exhausted. Just everything that could go wrong did.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think it was more awkward because of the music that they were playing in the background of the dinner part of the, like, they made it awkward. I don't think it was that awkward when it was going on. I think it was more like the parts that we saw were them, you know, kind of wondering like, oh, should we stop taping because it's getting kind of like, you know, windy, and they're
Santa
looking around.
Ana.
So I'm sure that there were, you know, parts of the date that did go well. Otherwise she wouldn't have, you know.
Oh, and I thought
I
we were
think
already on
she
a
just
date.
felt bad, and that's why she kept him, because she knew that she had interest in him but wasn't sure because the date was so awkward. But I also have to say, like, I think that might be a sign. Like, the winds are coming in and you can't have a conversation, and then you jump into the pool and it's supposed to be romantic and it's freezing cold, and before your date there's all kinds of drama. Like, maybe that's a sign that he's just not for you.
But she still made out with him under the towel, so
Yep.
clearly there was.
But you couldn't see if there was
something.
chemistry or if it was
Something.
awkward, because she started laughing during the kiss.
That is
Maybe
true.
that was because there were tidal waves in the pool.
And there were towels on top of their heads. Like,
Yeah.
it was just horrible.
You know, I also read somewhere that they didn't talk about it during the episode, that Casey was actually afraid of heights. I don't know how true.
And they made him climb
They
a
always
building.
do that.
Yeah. So I mean, he seems like a really good guy, just in a rough spot. So who knows? Maybe they'll get a second date.
I like
maybe.
Casey, actually. After I got over the whole hashtag thing, I think he could be a front runner as long as they have chemistry. I don't know. Hashtag.
We'll have to see when they kiss, when there's not a towel on their freaking head.
All right, moving on to maybe something a little better. A group date where all guys got to be cowboys.
Lone Ranger.
Okay, sorry, Lone Ranger. Any thoughts of Juan Pablo, Dan, Bryden, Zach, and James?
Well, she clearly has a thing for Juan Pablo. It wouldn't have mattered if he sucked.
Why?
She still would have given him the.
What-
Why?
But why?
There's
Because
nothing
he was a
wrong.
professional soccer player, and she
He's also a
clearly
model.
likes that Latina. Well, a lot of the guys are models.
That's true.
She likes the south of the border.
She likes
Yes.
Latin guys named Juan. Right on. Anyway,
Oh, God.
what? I'm just saying. All right.
Juan
I
Carlos.
don't see it. I see the eye thing. I haven't seen it yet, and I'm trying to find it. I
Yeah.
definitely see something in her eyes when she looks at Juan Pablo, but it's more like a lust of
But-
you meet your movie star crush look. Like, it's
I
weird.
think she really likes him, and I think it's one of those fleeting kind of crushes, as you're saying. Like, it's kind of like when you meet the guy that you see in movies or whatever. I don't think she knew who he was before, but she clearly is attracted to him. And if you notice on the date, I watched this, she is the one that leans in for the first kiss.
Oh, absolutely.
While they're watching the movie.
She turns into mush when she's with him.
and they made out the longest out of a lot of these people.
But do you think it will last?
Maybe.
Well,
I
I don't
mean,
think it
you
will.
brought it up early on when you first started talking about that. It seems fleeting.
yeah.
So it's all physical.
I think it's
Lust.
definitely physical. If there is something more behind them, we haven't seen that develop yet, and I think that there is a chance for that. I just feel like they need a one-on-one date to actually solidify that.
Any other moments? Because he did get the badger. He got the badge.
Just like Army Hammer has in The Lone Ranger.
Oh, nice tie in there,
Hey, you
Krisily.
know.
You really want to go to that press junket, don't you?
I can't.
But anyway, now any other moments from the cowboy date with, let's say, when James opened up, which was we always tease him for being the meatball, the Jersey Shore, but he opened up.
It was sweet.
It was a very touching moment where he talked about his dad, and he wanted to know if there were genuine feelings there.
I want to say that she wasn't going to give him the rose until he opened up, and I felt like she only kept him. Like, I don't see anything between them.
I don't either.
I really don't see any chemistry. She, like, wasn't even going to kiss him. They did, like, the kiss on the cheek, and then she, like, kissed him later. I don't know. It didn't seem like there was anything. I feel like she gave him the rose because she felt bad after that story, because she felt like she would just look like a jerk if she was like, oh, well, yes, there is chemistry, and then send him home next week. But I really don't think he's going to last that long.
I don't see chemistry at all, and I agree that she gave him the rose because he opened up to her and showed him a different side and put himself out there, and I think she respects that.
This has been the season, though, of people really opening up and very fast. I feel like normally we don't see that until everyone gets their own one-on-one date.
Maybe this is the other side of, we've talked about that the guys are very, like you said, very emotional. That they've been kind of like mean girlish. Mm-hmm. But the other side of that is that they're very connected to their feelings. So it's very easy for them to open up. So you take it hand in hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he got the rose, but due to all the stuff that's happened this episode, instead of having a cocktail night, we have a pool party.
Yeah.
Which is when there's way too many guys in a hot tub.
You know what?
Is there hold on. This is a very important question. And guys, please, or ladies, men, Bachelor fanatics, how many men is too many men to have in the hot tub for Desiree? Please, that's very important for us to know. I just want to know.
Yeah.
It was awkward.
There's 15 guys in there?
It was gross.
Bro tub.
It was really gross.
So one of the things that I do like about this episode is that they are switching it up a little bit. And, you know, normally we see this formulaic, you know, the first week there's two one-on-one dates and a group date. The second week, there's two one-on-one dates and a group date. The third week, there's two one-on-one dates, maybe three, and a group date. And it is continually like that. And I'm so happy that, you know, this week it was a little bit different. There were two group dates and one one-on-one date. And then, you know, switching it up to the pool party instead of the cocktail ceremony. I think that whether it's her personality that she wants to do that, or, you know, the producer is just trying to do something different, I really like it as a fan.
You know, and I'm glad that we really got into the pool party, because we're really moving into it. But of course, before we got into the party, Ben pulls another robbery. He takes Desiree again, which Krisily, she's mum about it. This is so weird. For a woman who likes to talk so much, she's really mum about this. Why?
What do you mean I'm mum?
I'm just saying because of
I
Ben.
was letting you finish your sentence.
Thanks.
I don't see anything. Listen, I don't like Ben. I don't like him. I don't think he should last. I don't think he's good for her at all. But I don't knock on him for doing what he's doing either. You're not at the Bachelorette to find some new friends to go to the bar with. Come on. Like, it's the show. It's what it's made for.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. And I think the guys, who was it? Mikey G said that it was a character flaw. You're on the Bachelorette. Character flaw? That's not a character flaw. Being man to go take somebody away and taking that step away from everybody else. Like, I don't think that's a character flaw at all. And then he also said something about there not being secrets in the house. Well, if that's the case, then every time any one of those guys spends time with Desiree, they should have to come back and tell Mikey that they kissed her. That's not how it works.
I think there are deeper things that we haven't seen yet with him and how he interacts with the other guys. I've been following all of them on Twitter, and his tweets are, like, in my mind, the way that I'm reading them, are completely, like, vapid and trying to, like, win America's hearts, and it's just, It's weird. And then he follows, like, all these people from Ready for Love, and he's, like, retweeting, like, all these people from Ready for Love, and it just seems kind of odd that, like, he's so into reality dating shows.
Now, could it also be that he could be getting a Ryan edit from, like, you know, Ryan did on Emily's season?
Well, I think Ryan is very much who he got edited to be. I don't think that
but he's still really
egotistical, chauvinistic thing was not there. I mean, I think it is there. And I think it's the same thing with Ben. I think that he's very proud of who he is, and I do think there's a lot of ego with him, but I don't knock him for stealing her away. I don't like him for her. I don't like him as a person, but I don't know him, but I don't knock him for what he's doing. Like, I think the guys are just being brats about it.
Okay, fair
like
enough.
Mikey G really needs to wear a skirt next week. Pink one.
I didn't say that.
I did.
I know. That's why I love you, Krisily. Now, okay, so did anything else stand out tonight? I mean, Brandon opened up again.
Oh.
Yes.
I felt bad for him until I read his Twitter, too.
Okay, you got to tell us. What did you read on the Twitter?
He's just, like, posting pictures of, like, him next to him on TV, and he hashtags everything more so than Casey does. And it's
He has
just
a picture of him next to himself on TV.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
and then just random pictures of him, like, just selfies, and I don't know.
I mean, he's had a very difficult upbringing, and he's still working his way through it, kind of like, let's say, Ashley Frazier from last season.
Yeah.
Very insecure.
Still working through the problems. So why did Desiree make out with him?
He kissed her.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you do at that point?
And that's what I said earlier in our after show, is that she has basically leaned in for every single kiss, and that was, I felt like, the first one where they went in for it. It is very early to tell someone that you're falling for them. This is the 3rd week, so they've been in the house for what, like 2 weeks now?
But he very clearly has some abandonment issues.
Yeah.
So for him, it's not out of character, I'm sure, to tell someone he loves them after a very short amount of time.
Heck, I have abandonment issues, and I don't do that. Like,
But I mean, I don't think to his extent where he was bawling. I mean, he was literally like crying when Brian's girlfriend came, because Brian's girlfriend was a single mom, and now that boy was not going to have a father figure. Like, for him to be that emotional to somebody that doesn't affect him, like, that to me is a very deep-seated issue that he just hasn't figured out yet.
You don't think that'll endear him to, like, let's say, a lot of single mothers across America? I mean, that he's so sensitive, that he went through this, and I mean, granted, I know he needs to maybe balance it out. Like, let's say, okay, that moment touched him, but what happened later on when Desiree, yes, I'm letting the cat out of the bag, yes, she didn't give him a rose, he broke down.
And he said the same thing that she said to Sean, you're making a huge mistake.
Right.
and
Huge.
then she had to walk him out. So I can't pull it up on my phone, but the other pictures that I saw were a little bit more shocking. 2 or 3 days ago, he posts a picture of him on a lake with a girl on top of him, and before he got kicked off. And there were several pictures of, like, I want to be back at this lake, and then it was just pictures of girls' butts on a boat, and it's just like things like that, where I'm
He
like,
has a little growing up to do.
I feel bad I felt really bad for him in that moment, because I completely understand where he's coming from, but then now seeing him on Twitter, I'm like,
Which is even more, he is exactly like Casey. Exactly like Casey from Allie's season.
Yeah?
Yeah, this isn't the end of him. We're going to hear from him. We're going to see him. Hopefully he won't get arrested on TMZ like Casey did.
yeah.
But
He's a lot cuter than Casey.
You know, it's funny that you bring that up, because he also, he also got in trouble with the law as well, so a few years ago. So
Yeah.
he's had a troubled past as well. So definitely, I mean, hopefully he can get past this and grow like Ashley has, you know, because now she's his Brad. You guys seen what?
Yeah.
Hey, you know,
Ashley Fraser and Brad.
I'm still holding out for hope. I always root for the betterment of people. So
she does look like the type of person that would be happy to be the Susie homemaker, sit at home and do nothing kind of person. So maybe that'll work.
and with that, let's
What?
True.
That's what he I mean, I don't think he wants a girl that's going to be like, out, go get her. I think he wants like a Stepford wife, and I can totally see her being that.
Oh, Brad and
Yeah.
Ashley. Okay.
Yeah.
Brother, this episode.
I'm going to get killed in the comments.
No.
Killed. It's
No,
okay.
no, absolutely
Have
not.
to be honest.
So, any surprises on the rose ceremony?
No.
We lost Dan, and we have Dan.
Superman.
I mean, Brandon, I think he went home a little bit early, but I understand her reasoning for it is...
Oh no, if she kept him another week, he would have been like, I mean, I hate to say it, but he
Yeah.
would have been yeah.
She did the right thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she totally did the right thing. That's not somebody you can keep around because they're gonna.
Yeah.
And you know, the fact that he said he's in love. He was in love with her already.
Was he a little tipsy?
Possibly because we all know that rose ceremonies tend to go till 3 a.m. and they have a lot of booze. Correct?
That was at the pool party that he said he loved her.
No, I thought that was
No.
after he got kicked
Yeah,
out.
he said that.
Oh, I
yeah.
must have missed
Yeah.
that part. I was.
I mean, that might have just been his emotions and whatever. I don't know.
In the heat of the moment.
I don't know. Yeah. Producers.
So I mean, a lot of things happened. A lot of
Yeah.
making out.
Oh, I do have to say about the rose ceremony. I loved Dez's dress. She looked absolutely gorgeous, and she designed that dress. So
It was cute.
Fun fact.
I feel like Bryden is a little bit emotionally unavailable.
His hair looked better this episode.
His hair looked
Yes.
better this weekend. Zach W, I'm still so confused by, and I wonder if he's just a space filler at this point, because like he's naked guy, and naked guy's fun to have around, but nobody marries naked guy.
I think he's fun, but yeah, in the
It's like
don't see
I will
anything
keep
there.
you until the meet my parents date.
right, and I feel like Brad. I hope that we see that he has a personality, because tonight he left it in the mansion. It was not on the date
Well,
with them.
well, Brad
He
had a lot-
opened up about having a kid too, which was a huge thing this
But
week.
even within that conversation, he was so monotone, and there was no emotion behind it. Like I felt like he really needed his personality.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So-
that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah. So another interesting episode, I'm going to say. Just so many things went on, so.
Too much crying and
I feel like I
whining.
can already tell who she's gonna cut in the next couple weeks. I mean, she's been weird with like the when she cuts people, but I feel like I already know who her top like 4 are.
Well, let's save it for predictions.
Even though I thought Robert was gonna make it to top 4. So before we get into predictions, I just want to say that our amazing creators, Maria Menounos and Kevin Undergaro, have a new movie out. Maria was actually on Conan tonight promoting it. Yeah, so I don't know if you checked that out, but it is called The Adventures of Serial Buddies. It is a hilarious comedy, kind of in the vein of Dexter meets Dumb and Dumber. All-star cast. Artie Lang is in it. Henry Winkler narrates. Beth Bayers from Two Broke Girls. Kathy Lee, Gifford, and
Maria Menounos.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, well, Maria Menounos obviously is in it. So you can find that on iTunes, rent or download, and it also indirectly helps us here at AfterBuzz. So it helps us keep the lights on, and it's worth it. So. You gotta get it.
Let us know what you think, guys, for sure.
And then also, while you're on iTunes, rate and comment on our Bachelor after show or Bachelorette after show. 5 stars. Do it.
Let us know what you think, please. I know Krista gets a lot of compliments on her pretty curls.
You had amazing curls last week.
See?
Everyone on YouTube was like, "What's Krisley's curling iron?" And I was like, "I want to know what Krisley's curling iron is."
I will find out because it is it's a really cool one that I got at a gifting suite. I
got a really cool one too.
Telling
All
you.
right, simmer down. We're here to talk about The
Fans want to
Bachelor.
know, JC.
Yeah.
It's not like we're not talking about what the fans are asking us.
We'll pass
our
out
amazing listeners.
our Twitter handles. We'll give that out. But
Yes.
here we do have to finish up with the show.
Okay. So
Sorry. So let's move on to maybe some news and gossip.
news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV.
What you got for us, Kathy?
We already talked about a couple of things. First in the news, sorry, not Bentley. Not to be confused with
Really?
Bentley.
I was like, wait, what?
The Bentley convertible that Des is driving costs 6 figures, a whopping $224,000.
What's the cost on a regular Bentley convertible? They're that high too, right? That's just.
I think
it's
she
not,
got a good deal on it, actually.
It's not special because it's blue, isn't that? Is that the
possible.
cost of a
I
regular
mean,
Bentley
it's a little
convertible?
bit more expensive, but
Okay.
that's a buttload of money. That is a
This is news and gossip, not editorial, Kathy.
Okay.
I'm just
So,
kidding.
next, Ben Scott, our favorite guy on the show. He did an interview with the press this last week, and he said he was defending why he brought his son on the show, because I know he got a lot of flack for that. He said, the main reason I brought my son was to see how Des reacted when she knew that I was the father and she saw my son in person. Everybody's going to have their own opinion on why they believe I brought my son. I did come in with the idea that I'm here 100% to find out if Desiree is the woman I'm going to marry. I focused all my attention on trying to grow the relationship that Des and I had. Some of the guys saw that, and some of their reactions were not so good. So,
That's a pretty decent comment.
yeah.
Still don't like him, but
I don't like him either. But yeah. So there were a couple other things he said. Overall, I don't know if I believe it. I think he's a very good talker.
They call him a politician. The other guys do.
he looks like a politician.
He looks like a politician. Wasn't he the one last week who was saying that he had a bar and that a bunch of the people from Bachelor Nation, like, they have bars and then they expand? Or that was a whole drama with, I don't know, whatever.
Let
Okay.
us know, guys.
Next piece of news and gossip is our favorite Bachelor couple, Sean and Catherine. Life and Style reports that they moved in together.
Ooh.
But it might not be for the reasons you think. Sean says it's purely a financial decision. How romantic. They are sleeping in separate rooms because they want to hold off on consummating their relationship, because Sean is a born-again virgin.
Sure.
And the house is, they live in LA now, right?
They live in LA. They're talking about moving to Dallas after they get married. And the good news about this story is that they are starting to talk about their wedding. Sean said that it's probably going to be in LA. If we do the televised wedding, which it looks like we will, it just makes more sense since the production crew is in LA and Her family's in Seattle, mine is in Dallas. LA is a good meeting point.
So they're taking it slow, getting to know each other, which is great because I think.
Sean, it's purely a financial decision.
Hold on.
Bad answer.
Yeah, I don't know. Hey, he's pretty close to perfect, so maybe we'll give him a pass on that one, please.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. The Huff Post, another story about Sean, is the Huffington Post reports, they reported on how much celebrities make for tweets, and Sean Lowe makes an estimated $6,500 whenever he sends out a sponsored tweet, which I'm sure is money gotten by our favorite guy, Matty Kirschner,
Nice.
his publicist.
Love that little boy.
Yes, we love
And I
him
only
so
call
much.
him little because he's about 5 foot nothing.
But got a big
He
personality.
is.
We
He
love
is.
you, Maddie.
No, I have a picture of he was my armrest at a party, and he
He does a lot of stuff with Maria Menounos.
He's adorable.
we're
He's
good.
a
I
great
love
guy.
him.
Yes.
He's awesome.
Last piece of news and gossip for the night, Melissa Rycroft.
Thank you.
Did an interview, and she said a lot of things in that interview. One of them is that she does not believe that The Bachelor is a conducive place to find love. She said, the day after I got engaged, I was sitting there looking at Jason Mesnick, and we were going, well, what did we just do? What kind of pickle did we get ourselves in? Because I didn't even know what he did for a living. Like, you just don't know these things about each other. She went on to say, you kind of get confused mentally as to, why did I do this? Do I want this because I don't want to be rejected, or do I want this because I love him?
You know,
That is a big accusation.
well, it's just she's just being really, I guess, real about it. I mean,
It is
they
a
got
little
engaged
different.
after 3 dates.
They did get engaged after 3 one-on-one dates, but there have been several people who have gotten engaged from the show, and then maybe like 3 people who have gotten engaged from the show.
The Biggest Loser has a better marriage rate than The Bachelor.
And Love in the Wild has an amazing marriage rate.
I'm not being-
from 2
I'm not
seasons.
saying-
Yeah.
I mean, what she's saying is very true.
Yeah.
Okay, then
but
let's
at the
spin
same
this.
time, Jason, the one who she was engaged to, did get engaged and married to someone on the show.
Just had a baby.
After he proposed to her on the finale and then dumped her on the After the Rose. You know what I mean? So yes, he did end up with somebody from the show, but not before he made bad decisions first.
I love Melissa Rycroft, but I think that if like Ali Fedotowsky or someone else were to say these things, that The Bachelor is not conducive to find love, then I would be like, okay, yes. But Jason found love on The Bachelor. It just ended up having a different path.
I'm gonna say, do we watch this show because of the romance, or because there isn't? Looking back at it, is it a bit of a soap opera?
Of course it is.
It's definitely a soap opera. I think that if, the chances of finding love on this show, I think, aren't as good as in the real world when you have 6 billion people. But at the same time, I don't know.
It's, you know what? It's great to watch the romance. It's great to watch these amazing dates that none of us will ever have in real life. It's great to watch. I did not have any of these dates. I went bowling and I went to pool halls. My season was very realistic.
Yeah.
The most romantic thing we did was we went scuba diving in Aruba. So I think that I watch because it's fun to watch. It's great to see these dates that are the most romantic things in the world. But you know what? We watch because we like the failure just as much as we like the love at the end. And then we still buy Us Weekly and OK Magazine, and we follow them on Twitter because we want to know, are they going to make it or not?
Yeah.
And most of the time they don't. I mean, out of 20-something seasons, there's like 4 marriages. That's not a great track record, but it doesn't mean we're not going to watch.
Yeah.
It is an addiction, I think.
They know what they're doing. There's a reason why there's been this many seasons.
I think the producers could do a better job at picking all great matches for them as opposed to like 3 out of 25 people. But then you wouldn't have a lot of the drama, and you wouldn't have a lot of those, funny guys who have weird shticks. But I don't know. I feel like at the same time, I know that this costs a lot of money because I know how much like reality production costs, but they should give them more time with like their final 3. Like, there should be, instead of just having an overnight date, they should have like a week long together or something, and that might produce
That's interesting. Yeah.
better relationships or
A condensed version of, let's say, the final 3, and spending a couple days with them, see what happens.
And we don't have to know that they're spending a week together. I mean, it wouldn't really. I mean,
I think they would want to film parts of it because honestly I think that's why there isn't more one-on-one time, is because they want to film everything so that the viewer sees all
as
of
much
it.
as they can, of
Yeah.
course. And they want to show the good, the bad, and the ugly of every single one of them. I mean, it's what it is.
Yeah.
Some food for thought.
She also said, Melissa Rycroft also said that she never saw Jason Mesnick naked before they were engaged, because she was talking about on the one-on-one dates, this is always a common misconception. While there are people like Bob Guinea who sleeps with everyone, there are also a lot of these people don't actually like do anything. They just talk on their alone.
Been saying it for
Dates,
years.
so.
You don't get any time without a camera in your face. It's the most refreshing thing to just be able to sit and talk to that person about things that you just want to talk about. And by the way, you're just finished a 14-hour day, so the last thing you're doing is having sex. You want to go to sleep.
I'll leave that alone. All right.
Just saying.
So, any more news and gossip, or is that it for this week? We got a lot this week.
I actually
got
toned
one?
it down. I had more stories, and I was like, I'm cutting the boring ones. So.
Okay, we'll save it for next week. So let's get out of the news and gossip and move on to predictions. All right.
And now, your
I'm really
AfterBuzz
intrigued here.
TV predictions.
I'm really intrigued here. Okay. Cathy says she already knows for next week.
You do?
I don't think I already know. I think I know her top like couple.
Okay. But Krisily, I want to know who you actually like on this season.
I like Brooks.
I want to see more of Drew.
I like Drew. Drew.
He's like the
He's like a Ken doll.
he might be like that Jeff guy who like
One
Jeff
F?
with one F, who you don't really get to see much of.
I mean, he's
Ooh.
not as cool as Jeff with one F.
But think about it. We haven't seen a lot of him. So, and as we know from seasons past, you hide those front runners. Like Catherine didn't really make herself known until halfway through the season, I say. So,
I saw it at the
Brooks and
beginning.
Drew are
No?
my favorite.
okay, so you like Brooks
Brooks is my
and Drew,
favorite.
and anyone else?
I
Can't say
think
Chris
Zach
Harrison.
will be around for a while just because he's the fun one that doesn't look like he'll get brokenhearted.
Naked guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Abs.
Okay, so next week she does make out with 3 more guys, looking at just the previews, which was Michael G, Drew, and James, some more. So with that said,
Yeah.
we're getting the hook. It's been a crazy episode, but where can they find you, Cathy Kelley?
You can find me on Twitter at Catherine Kelley, and then on AfterBuzz doing a million shows.
Or in my neighborhood.
or
Our
next to
neighborhood.
Krisily.
Our neighborhood.
And Krisily, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Krisily.
And Marissa, thank you so much for putting up with us, because I know it was a little bit kind of weird this week. We had a lot of stuff going on, but where can they find you?
You can follow me on Twitter at SerafiniTV.
And you can
When
find,
you
yes?
think we're all over the place is when we get the best comments on the show.
I know.
When we're crazy, everyone loves us.
You know, I'm not going to say you're right, but I guess you might be a little right. So with that said, I'm JC Rubio at JC Rubio TV. You can find all of us at AfterBuzz TV. We'll see you. Get us out of here. Good night.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
Juan Pablo.
Views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.